All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Great to see you. Welcome back to Tuesday Talk. And we are really excited because we have not one, but two presenters. So this morning we're going to spotlight both our library and ROVA, two great organizations here at Regency Oaks. And the librarian with the mostest is going to come forward and give us an update on our libraries. Jean, come on up.
Good morning. My name is Jean Beagles. Most of you know me as the Secretary of RORO, the Regency Oaks Resident Organization. My other job is that of Librarian of the North Library. I was appointed to both positions just 7 months after moving here in January of 2014. Another resident, Nancy Burnett, is Librarian of the South Library. Both libraries are located on the 5th floor of each building, and we are both professional librarians in our life before Regency Oaks. The following information applies to both libraries. We're funded by Because We Care, which allows us to purchase books as well as jigsaw puzzles. We receive $150 a month for books, an additional yearly $300 for large print, and $100 for jigsaw puzzles. We take requests from residents and have a form in the library to fill out and return. Book purchases are made several times a year. Many times there are duplicate copies in both libraries, as most residents love to read the newest releases. We also take donations, but only if the books are 1 or 2 years old. You can visit both North and South libraries regardless of where you live. Books can be returned to either front desk with a note on them to be delivered to the other building if you do not want to walk over. Since our shelf space is rather limited, we need to weed our collection often to make room for new books. These discarded books are then given to various charities. In addition to checking out books and puzzles, we have collections of DVDs and VCR tapes to check out, and some CDs and books on tape. The libraries are not shelved in a true library fashion, but rather for the convenience of our residents. New books are together in a prominent area to be easily accessible. Fiction books are shelved together, paperback books are shelved together, and large print books are shelved together, all by author. Biography books are shelved separately, according to the last name of the person. This makes it easier to find books depending on your need. The nonfiction books are not filed by the Dewey Decimal System, but rather by categories, such as religion, language, science, health, travel, history, hobbies. In addition, each library has a magazine collection, as well as a printer, a copy machine, and a telephone for resident use. The libraries are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Books are checked out on an honor system, and we hope you will return them when you finish so other residents may enjoy them. Many residents find the library a relaxing and quiet place to go, whether to escape your apartment while it's being cleaned, or to sit and read, or even work on the community jigsaw puzzle that is always out on a table. We hope you will always feel welcome to your library at Regency Oaks. Thank you.
Gee, she's so good. Okay. My name's Don Infante. I have the honor and the privilege of being the president of ROVA. What is ROVA? Regency Oaks Veterans Association. What is our mission? Our mission first is to honor the 75 to 80 veterans that we have here. And our second part of our mission is to educate the residents. We have about 200 to 250 residents who are members, and we're constantly seeking more. So if you need an application, I'm going to tell you what to do later on. So our mission is to honor the veterans, educate the residents. How do we do that? We have a meeting usually the second Tuesday of every other month, January, March, and so forth. So, our next meeting is May 25th, and it's the Memorial Day meeting. And I'm going to encourage you all to come to that because we pay respects to both veterans who have passed away in the past year and residents who have passed away in the past year. And we're going to have a special speaker for that also. I am assisted by some great people. Bill Lewis. Bill, wake up and stand up. I'm going to run. He hated that. I know. He's going to be angry at me for it. Walt Lewis, who's not here today. Walt Tanner, sorry. And Tony, where's Tony? Tony Solomani, is he here? No. But we're training him, and he's coming on board with us. So I would ask you to put on your calendars May 25th. Here comes Tony. Tony, I just mentioned your name. Say hi, Tony. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
You're a part of the Rova family.
Thank you all.
Yeah. So it's a great organization. We have great support from our residents, for which we're eternally grateful. And I ask you to put May 25th on your calendars for the next meeting, which is the Memorial Day meeting. Thank you all very much.
So, Gene, Don, thank you very much. Those were great presentations. We're going to roll right into the rest of Tuesday Talk, and we're going to start at the board with the COVID update. All right, first slide, Don. Here's just some information on how many inoculations in a percentage basis we've had to date, and this is across the United States. So we're at about 36.4 as an average for the U.S., and that means 22.3 have been fully vaccinated, while about 20% have of the shots distributed have not yet been administered. That 22.3 are full shots, and so the difference between the 36 and the 22 are individuals who have had the first in the two series, and so they will quickly get back up to 36.4. That's our U.S. average. Next page. This is, I thought, a really interesting chart. It gives us the pathway to herd immunity. You can see we're right up here about April 11th, and there's our 36%. You can see it's a pretty steep climb. If we're currently inoculating about 1.7 million people per day, and so on that record, if we keep that pace up, by June 26, we will have achieved 75% of all Americans who are vaccinated, and scientists say that 75% is the minimum level for herd immunity. So that's when you hear President Biden speak about early July. He believes we will start to get back to normal as a country. This is what he's looking at, is that herd immunity, and we seem to be well on our way. Next slide. Here's the vaccination rates by states, and you can see Florida is down here in sort of the mid-blue. We're at about 35%. Currently across the state of Florida, and this is also true in the United States, every American is now eligible for receiving the vaccine. As long as you are 18 years of age or older, you are now eligible to receive that vaccine. You see the darker blue and then the very, very dark blue states. those are the states that have been most effective in getting out the vaccines to their population. In some of these bordering states, Georgia and Alabama, they are still several percentage points behind Florida. And so we watch our northern border just to make sure that our bordering states are keeping up with the rest of the country. Next slide. This I thought might be interesting. Everyone's always saying, you know, what are you vaccinated? Yeah, I got vaccinated. Who did you? And here are the three providers: Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. Almost 100 million people have received the Pfizer vaccine. That's what the majority of our residents received. If you attended one of our vaccination clinics, you got the Pfizer vaccine. Moderna is rapidly catching up. Their production has upscaled. They started second. Pfizer started back on December 8th, Moderna on December 20th. So that they're on pace to catch up with Pfizer. Johnson & Johnson that's the single shot variant, and you probably saw that currently in the United States the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is on hold and currently not available. They've had a small number of leg blood clotting issues in females that has put that vaccine on hold until they can go back and study the data and try to evaluate it. It's a very small number. It's only 6 women. And you know, if you're one of the women, it's not small, but if you look at the nearly 7 million doses that they've administered, it's still statistically very safe, but it is currently on hold. Next slide. Here I thought you might be interested in seeing where the outbreaks are, and these are the states with the most number of cases. Oklahoma is leading the way. They've gone up 73% in the last 7 days. Minnesota up 48%, Nevada 43%, Wyoming 35%, and Oregon 26%. So their trend lines are sort of disturbing, and the good news is none of this new outbreaks are variants. They are all original COVID, and so we've just been very fortunate as a country in that we're not seeing these unusual strands of the virus. And so that's really good news. We'll continue to be thankful for that. Okay, I think that's the last slide, and let's go down metrics just so that you can see what's happening in Pinellas County. And so brown, upper left-hand chart, that's the number of emergency room visits with flu-like symptoms, and you see that has spiked just a little bit. ED visits with COVID-like illness continues to decline. And then the two right-hand charts are in the yellow. That's the number of documented new cases, and we've seen a spike. Most scientists say this is related to spring break, and they believe that to be true because if we go back and look at the average age of the individuals behind the spike, it's under 25. And so there's good evidence to suggest that what we're probably seeing is the impact of spring break, and that it hasn't spread to either their parents or their grandparents. So continue to stay away from your college-age grandchildren for a couple of weeks. And then in red, we see the percent positive for laboratory testing, and it's pretty much keeping pace. I want to look at one other chart, Don, over there, the second one over Florida testing.
Sorry about that.
That's
Sorry?
What you can see, yesterday we only did 757 residents. That's a really small sampling. Usually our sampling is somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 to 5,000 people. I don't know what happened yesterday. Could have been a state holiday. I don't know. But they didn't sample a lot of people, and we had a 7.27% positivity rate. That's a little lower than what we had anticipated. Last Friday, it was right at 10%. It was 9.93 or something like that. It was high again on Saturday. And so we actually expected to see a little bit higher number, and we think that the sampling size was so small that that's skewed. We believe that the positivity rate, if you could come over and put your cursor right here on this red dot.
Which red dot you want, Brad?
This very last red dot right here.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so 7.37 is the positivity rate over the last 7 days, and that had climbed up by a little more than 3 points. And so we're anticipating that will climb another 3 points this week, and that will put our positivity rate above 10%. And so if we look at these numbers again tomorrow, that's what we're anticipating seeing. Here's what that means for you. It means for the staff, we have to go to testing 3 times a week. So every staff member will have to go and get COVID tested 3 times a week once you jump above 10%. For the residents, it's not going to change anything in terms of us pulling back services or imposing additional restrictions. We're still comfortable with that because we have so many of our residents who are vaccinated. What it will do is prevent us from taking that final step of being able to go out of phase 3B, which is where we are, to the next phase, which is being fully opened. And in order for us to take those final last 7 or 8 things and move to the next level, we have to have a positivity rate in Pinellas County of less than 5%. So we'll continue to monitor this and see where it takes us. And then over the course of the next couple of weeks, as this spring break spike works its way through the system, we will look to take the next steps in reopening. All right, well, here's where we are in Pinellas County. The number of new cases just jumped by about 6 yesterday, so that's a really good number. And then fatalities were very stable as well. In terms of our staff and residents and the tracking that we've done, we had gone 13, 14 weeks without any COVID. We have had 3 COVID cases this week. They are all over in the health center. They are all staff. We had 2 CNAs in our skilled nursing. We had 1 CNA in our assisted living. The good news is no one was exposed. All of these were outside of Regency Oaks, and so here's what I mean by that. 1 CNA, her mother, who does not work here, works elsewhere, got a diagnosis of COVID, and so the daughter, who does work here, had to go into quarantine. So it was a secondary exposure with a potential COVID diagnosis. And when that happens, through our protocols, they're not eligible to come to work. And so they have to go through that 10-day window to make sure that they're safe to return to work. So all 3 of the exposures that we had were not positive diagnosis. They were exposure to a family, a friend, or a loved one. So our protocols that are put in place work, our screening works, our temperature checking works, and you practicing good social distancing, hand washing, mask wearing, staying home when you are sick, all of that helps to contribute and make sure that we are safe. So we will monitor that and see where that goes. In terms of other residents and staff. There is no one else we're testing. There is no one else that is showing flu-like symptoms. And these 3 associates that were exposed through an outside source, they should be back to work in about 5 days at this point. So that's our COVID update. Gotten an email survey from LCS. Okay, good. Keep your hands up. Were all of you able to get that survey returned, or did you run into a firewall message? Anyone run into a firewall message? All right, great. So the resident satisfaction survey is going to be in the fall of this year. It's a paper and pen survey, but right now they had sent out about 150 residents supposedly received a electronic survey. This is a test survey. It's a beta test to test the validity of the questions and the responses. And I had heard from a number of residents that they had received it but had not been able to return it because they received a message saying there were firewall protections in place that prevented them from returning it. But it looks like that may have been an isolated incident because I didn't see anyone raise their hand. So I think we're good. Okay, well, thank you for returning that survey. Again, only about 150 of them went out, so if you didn't get a survey, don't feel like you were not included or that your voice isn't going to count. This is not a benchmarking survey. It's a beta testing survey to make sure that they ask the right kind of questions and that the data tabulates and correlates to the question.
Where did they get the sample from?
So this is unlike what we are used to in the past. Brookdale used a company called Holleran, and Holleran had a survey that they had developed over years. It had gone out to 1,700 different communities over a period of 10 to 15 years, and so they felt like their survey instrument had been thoroughly vetted. This is an internal survey document that was developed by LCS, and so it had never been used or applied anywhere, and that's why they felt a need to vet the survey instrument itself. And so it wasn't just Regency Oaks. There was a small number of residents in each of the communities nationwide that received an electronic survey for vetting purposes. Results, I understand at this point, results are not going to be shared back with the communities. It was simply to test the validity of the survey document itself. So I didn't even see the survey. Did it look like a good survey?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
It was very superficial.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
limited on the number of questions and whatnot, but it was fine.
Okay. Yeah, so I've not even seen the survey document, so I don't have a whole lot of depth on this topic. Okay.
They asked us a lot about you.
Oh, good. All right. So what I'd like to do this morning for just a few more minutes is take a look at our town hall drawings. When last we left off, we had taken a deeper dive into the fitness center, and then we moved over to the spa salon. And so what I'd like to do today is go back and take a look at the revised drawings for the town hall itself. These are hot off the press. We take input from our committee, and then at the design development meetings, we kick around the new ideas, and then we update these drawings every day. And so these literally just came in a few minutes ago. And Don, I have a PDF up here right in the center of the mountain. If we open that, we should pop that up. Okay, now, you can't see any pavement. That's right, sitting right about here is maybe here, here, and here is the al fresco dining. Those are the 3 tables out there. And so this is the new deck area. And you can see it extends that big tree. See where it says 303? That's where that big tree is. And so here's the thing that I like most about this new change is the outdoor deck is at grade level. And so there are no ramps, there are no steps, there are no obstacles. It has direct access. It is wheelchair accessible. It's walker friendly. There's nothing that you can trip on. There is still some discussion about how to finish this. Originally, we were thinking it was going to be a Trek product, and then decided no, that's way too much maintenance. We'd be so much better served to do a hard surface, and so it is going to be paved. And I think that we're leaning toward cool decking because it's comfortable. It's anyone who's had a pool in Florida knows that the cool decking is great for your feet, and it holds up well, and it gives you the opportunity to add some color and design, and so that's what we're looking at for. It includes 3 new planting areas just to break up the space. The designers didn't think that we wanted just a great big pad of concrete that looked like a driveway, and so they've put some green space out there as well. We're retaining at least one of the fire pits and potentially replacing that second fire pit up here, although it's currently shown as a cocktail table. It has a designated seating areas. You can see in the center, it's 6 comfortable, oversized chairs around the square fire pit. Over here on the left-hand side in the opposing corner, there are 2 tables that would be available for outdoor use. And then there are 2 additional seating areas that we are looking at. None of the furniture has been spec'd. We're not at that stage. We've just sort of designated the area. The tree is going to have to come down. And it's just, it doesn't create an issue so much for the deck, but it does create an issue for the building. Those roots, here's what you can say. If you can see a branch on an oak tree, for every foot of length in a branch, it has a foot of length of roots. And so those roots are well under the area where we want to put in the new foundation. So that tree is going to have to come down, and it's permitted to do that. Here is the new, this is existing structure, and so what we're looking at here is the craft room, and we already know that both of these windows are going to be lost, as well as the windows over on this side. The windows on the left-hand side of the craft room, they will stay in place, so we'll still have some natural light. As part of the window removing in here, they actually will go in, take the windows out, and reseal it. They are going to have to repaint, and so the craft room is going to be down for probably less than a week. This is a pretty quick process. We also will have to put in much more extensive lighting because we're losing so many windows. So that work will happen pretty quickly, and it happens on the front side of the project, not on the back side. So what I've told them is, be quick, get in, get out, so that it's not going to impact what's happening with our residents. So this is a new entry. It's a covered sidewalk. It's designed to match the existing covered sidewalks, and it will go directly into the new town hall. And Don, if you slide this down just a little bit further, I can reach better. Other way, please. Other way, please.
Other way. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Are the alfresco tables staying,
Yes.
where in there are they?
The alfrescos, so here is the, Don, flip back one more time all the way so I can see the bottom of the print. All right, so the alfresco are sitting here, here, and here.
So you haven't taken them away?
No.
You can still dine out there?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think they'll dine out further into some of that other?
We
area?
hope so. That's why we added 2 additional dining tables. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful area to be able to go out and eat under the stars. Okay, so you can see the craft room entry. You can see the windows that are going to be left. And now, Don, we'll go back up to the top and start taking a look at. That's good, right there. All right, so here's a double access door. It's very similar to this. These are 36-inch doors on each side, so it's a little bit larger. Should be able to accommodate traffic left and right as we go in. This area right here is designated for wheelchair and walker storage. So if we're having a large event, you can see our maximum capacity in the auditorium seating is 208. Is that what that says? 208? 268. So this is the parking area set aside for wheelchairs, walkers, and electric carts. And then this is our catering kitchen. And we're just going to blow this up one more time and come look at this catering kitchen. Let's go to like 125%. Perfect. And I'll just, if we can center this. Good. Now let's just slide this thing over right here a little bit. Oops.
What's going to happen to the putting green?
It's putting green is disappearing.
Yeah, it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone.
Yes. Right there. That's perfect. Okay. So, and now do me one more favor, Don, and slide this whole thing down so I can just reach the catering kitchen. I'm tall, but I'm not that tall. There we go. All right. Now, down this way.
A little more?
Yep. Up. Bar up, slide down. It's confusing. A little further. Just a little further. A little further. There we go. Perfect. All right. So here's the catering kitchen. And you can see a 104B on the backhand side. The designers, you know, we always have struggled with this door in the tavern where we're using it for service, and it has a handle, and you know the code is not real pleased with trying to put a swinging door in there, and so we tried to come up with a solution that would work with code and provide better access for the servers. And what we've come up with is a barn door. And so into the auditorium there, that is actually a sliding barn door that when we're serving, we can slide it over, but then when we're not serving, it slides right over the opening and is lockable, and it just gives us a better look on the inside of the town hall. The kitchen, Ricky and Phil and the designers did a great job of organizing this, and the goal is to be able to cater a full dining service out of a catering kitchen. So it's not to cook all of the food. The food would be cooked at least partially up in our kitchens. It would be transported in hot box and then finished off here in the kitchen. So we have a prep table, a warming carts. These warming carts is where the food would come down from the kitchens in the hot boxes. They get plugged into the wall and they're ready to put onto the line when we're ready. There's a dishwasher, a high temp chemical dishwasher right here. The 3-compartment sink for washing of pots and pans and utensils. There's a hand sink right here. The steam line is a 4-well steam line, so it gives us lots of capabilities. It's a full table, so each one of those wells can be broken down into quarters or halves, so that we can do multiple entrees. There's a prep station right here. This is the 3-compartment sink for vegetable cleaning. There's refrigeration units to the top 2 sides. Those are both refrigeration units. So it's a fully capable kitchen. Ricky has everything that he needs. And then there are outlets, multiple outlets on this wall and this wall, which will accommodate Bobby a wine chiller. So we didn't forget you.
I'm wondering, where is my mom?
Okay.
Man, how do you get to the town hall through these front doors?
Okay. So through the front doors, and Don, let's take this down to like, let's go back to about 75%, so we can see a little broader. All right. So you come into the new town hall through these doors, and then this whole area right here is nothing but open space. And the thought process is that if we wanted to have a small cocktail party for 50 or 60 people, or a small event, typically all we've had so far is the Regency room. That's where most of those activities occur. We don't have another space that size, and so this is designed to take care of those small events. We have the ability to cater it. We have the space to put in small cocktail tables or different arrangements, so that it's a gathering space that we're able to use. And then you can see the entry to the town hall right over here. It's marked 124A. It's right above my finger. And then right over here, it's marked 122. So that's the 2 access points into the town hall. And Don, if you slide down the bar up just a little, please. Just come over and grab this bar and go up with it, please. Okay, and then let's drop it back down to 75. The other thing that they did a really, really good job of in this is look at all the storage in here. This is a janitor's closet. This entire thing is a storage. It's tables, it's chairs, there's walled storage up here on shelving. There is more storage here, more walled storage here, more storage here. So we knew that like in this particular town hall, we're way under capacity for storage. So we put a lot of storage in this so that we'd be able to do the changeovers right here without having to go and drag chairs or tables from somewhere else on campus. Mac?
I'm just changing subject a little. What is the distance between the new building and the people living in the P?
About the closest point between the P wing, the closest P wing apartment, and the new building is about 38 feet.
38 feet. How long is this room?
75 maybe? 75?
38 would be less than.
About half this.
They would look out of their lanai, 38 feet, just half this room, and there'll be a brick wall.
That's correct.
There's gonna be trees and.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be landscaped, but yes, it's,
Very tough.
yes, it will impact views. There is no getting around that. Let's take a look at the restroom. The restrooms are, on the right-hand side, this is for women, it's 3 sinks, and 1, 2, 3 stalls. And then for the guys, it's 2 stalls and 3 sinks and 2 urinals. So we really upped the size of the restrooms. So it's not a single stall like we have outside the tavern. So this gives us additional capacity and with the ability to have this accessible, whether you're doing al fresco dining or you're out on the deck or enjoying something elsewhere in the outdoor space. These restrooms will help to relieve that mess.
The only way to get to them is from inside.
Is from inside, that's correct.
Grant, while we're in the area,
With the Department of Business and Professional Regulations, we've come up with a solution that we can live with. And so we have gone to price it. We are pricing it with Coastal CDS and a pool company that does pool enclosures. And so I've gotten the first bid back and I'm waiting for the next 2 bids. Once we have the drawings and the bids, we will go back to the Department of Business and Professional Regulations, get them to bless it and permit it and get the work done. So I think we're probably still 30 to 45 days out, but at least we are no longer at an impasse and we have reached an accommodation that I think we can live with and that's not going to compromise the campus and what that whole area has the potential to look like.
we can have pizza in August.
Pizza in August. All right. Well, so thank you very much. Next week when we come back, we'll take a look at the last piece, and that's the office area, so you can see what that's going to look like. And thanks for letting me go 5 minutes over, and have a great day.